When we were planning on coming here, we thought to ourselves, what could we build that every single one of the people at this hackathon could use? 1,000 people are going to wake up tomorrow and ask themselves, what do I do now? If they had enough money, could they even get the customers to work on their product? If they had those customers, how would they get to an MVP? We've solved this problem. We're building a Kickstarter specifically designed for software startups. I'd like to introduce you to Ramen.
Is it not fitting on the screen?
Imagine if a few years ago you spent $25 helping a small company named Dropbox get started, and in exchange you got a lifetime subscription to Dropbox. That would be a pretty good value proposition. So what we're doing is actually building a lot of the traditional Kickstarter features, but with 3 fundamental differences that separate Kickstarter from the software development process. The 3 things that are really the pillars of a marketplace for software startups are credibility. All of us know because we had to apply with LinkedIn, with our Dribbble, with our GitHub accounts to get into the system. And we're stealing a page from the playbook of AngelList as well, allowing you to add champions and people that can sort of bring credibility to your product. The second thing that's a pillar is customers. One of the big differences between how we're approaching the problem and how Kickstarter approaches the problem. With Kickstarter, you're just getting purchasers. We're really getting customers for your product, those first 100 customers that you want to work with. We use LinkedIn as our fundamental authentication mechanism, so you know not only who they are, but what their title is, what their job history is, and what company they work at. Second, we're actually designing offers and helping people design offers that are very specific to customers. So for example, that $49 one-time purchase could get you a lifetime subscription. I know personally if I had paid $100 to help MailChimp get started and I had a lifetime subscription, I would have saved myself thousands and thousands of dollars. The third pillar is really the most important though. That's collaboration. Really, we start where Kickstarter leaves off. Once a project is funded on Kickstarter, that's basically it. You might provide some updates to the purchasers, but you're really not getting any value out of them. Ramen is really about the collaborative platform to work with those customers to figure out what your MVP is. We have a number of features that are designed to help them prioritize your feature set, allow them to do upvoting, allow you to get a good sense of what features you should be building. And then as you start to go through the development process and you start to generate mocks and you start to generate screenshots, you can actually come in here and your customers can actually comment on your screenshots and you can start discussions about what things are most valuable to you. So, thank you. So, we really think this is a necessary thing and we really believe that everybody here could use it. Because we like being a little bit meta, the first project that we're actually putting into Ramen is Ramen. If you go to ramen.is, you actually can see our project. It's running live. We've got over $1,000 of funding already since 4 o'clock when we launched it. And you can go in and sign up. If you spend $50 now, you get your first $5,000 of funding for free. If you spend $100, you get your first $10,000 of funding. So we really fundamentally believe that we're going to use our own product to build the best marketplace for software startups. The best startups begin with Ramen.
Okay, well done. Yeah, Brian.
So this wasn't one of the ones that I saw before. It was one of the ones that one of the other judges said, we like this, let's get them on stage. And just from the pitch, the sort of description, you know, Kickstarter, first startup, just sounded eh. And this is actually amazing. It's really cool. So just great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
More feedback? Yeah.
My email address is bubba@dfj.com.
Right. And remember, mine comes first, jason@launch.com.
Can I tell you one other awesome thing that happened while we were showing a few people
Yes.
this? Brett from Carvoyant actually came over and really liked what we were doing. And we had the idea to actually get people like sponsors of the hackathon to actually sponsor projects on Ramen. So he actually committed $1,000 to sponsor projects that were going into Ramen. We think it's a big trend to help kickstart the marketplace. No pun intended.
So much of what made Kickstarter successful is being able to test and validate an idea with a predominantly consumer audience, right? Pass, fail, are we going to raise enough or are we not going to raise enough? And you guys have an interesting twist on here where it's predominantly kind of business audience, so it's who's going to be interested in participating in this. And that's more of a collaboration, right? About these features and what's going to make it in and what's not going to make it in. How are you going to balance that? How are you going to be able to build that for that business audience?
Sure. I think we had a lot of discussion before we came here, and we decided that philosophically, I'm a product manager. I've been a product guy my whole life. I've built lots of products and many companies along the way. And fundamentally, what you want is as many signals as possible. You want as much data to work with to end up making the most informed decision. But you don't want to promise up front any stakeholder in the process that they're going to get their feature into the product. So if you take a look at what we built feature upvoting. We didn't give people points so they could vote on things. We didn't associate points with the amount of money you paid for your offer. offer. We thought a lot in these features about the subtlety of that balance. And I think as we develop other things that help you actually collaborate, like how to come up with the best pricing model, we're going to have to continually find the edge of the fence not to fall off of.
Cool. Well done.
Okay, let's hear for Ramen. Next up.